I am really losing my patience with this bed. I am so close to just pulling everything out. Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Lynn. We've got about 6 weeks left until things start to pipe down a little with the heat, but let me show you the worst of it, and it's right behind me. And just for a point of reference, y'all, if you look right here, this is part of the front yard, and everything is green, lush, growing, flowering. But over here, this is a mess. Look at these weeds. It has woven itself from the boxwood over there all the way through here. And this is a Pugster amethyst butterfly bush, and honestly, it looks like it's dead. The Caryopteris back here, very heat tolerant, drought tolerant plant. All three of these Caryopteris, they look like they're dead. And that derunk boxwood is dead for sure. I've replaced these boxwood 3 times. And just out of the blue, this one died within the course of, I started noticing things about a week ago. And so I don't know what's going on. It's really weird. As you can see, this one is smaller than that one. And what this one was, because, well, that one died first. And I had to replace it. And that's why it's shorter than that one. And at this point, I just am not optimistic that I will ever have a healthy trio of these plants. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to cut back the Pugster amethyst to see if it's by any chance still alive. I'm going to cut back the Caryopteris because these are tough plants, to see if they're still alive, but also cutting everything back will let me get in there and kind of see what's going on. What I'm thinking of putting here is a Dwarf Burford holly, because I have the height to let it grow pretty tall, and I can keep it at about 4 feet in width. That'll be easy to maintain. It's evergreen. In fact, I have 3 right there. So you see the one right here on the corner. I have Dwarf Burford hollies here already, so it makes sense to add another one of those. I don't know what's going on with this bed, but it's time for me to figure it out. So first I'm cutting everything down, and then I'm going to dig it out, because I've decided it's not going to be good enough just to check what's going on around these plants. I actually need to get under these plants. And fortunately, everything has only been here for 2 to 3 years, so I will not be sacrificing many years of growth. Okay, y'all, so I got in here. As you can see, I dug everything out. I missed that Caryopteris back there, although I'm going to see if it comes back. If it comes back, it can remain there. If not, I'll have to dig it out. In terms of diagnosing what the problem was here, I initially just turned the irrigation system on for 5 minutes, because if there was a nick in the tubing or some kind of large hole that was keeping the water from reaching this area, because this is the end of this zone, then it would have sprayed or created kind of a puddle, but I didn't see any of that. So yesterday was a normal day for this irrigation zone to run, and so I came out, and again I was looking for some obvious sign as to why the plant where the Dwarf Burford holly is and everything in here died, all those butterfly bushes. And I couldn't figure out why. I still don't know why. I am going to say that maybe because this is a low point in this bed, so it's higher there, it's higher there, and this is the low point, because butterfly bushes need really good drainage. They don't like wet feet. I'm going to assume that maybe I just didn't plant them high enough, because in clay soil you really want to plant things high. That's what I'm assuming happened right here. But back there, I just don't know, because these 2 derunk boxwoods are fine. That one isn't. And like I said, this one's been replaced. And when the one that was here died, I assumed I didn't plant it high enough. And so when I planted this one, I planted it really high. But you all, I have replaced these plants 3 times. Now I refuse to do it again. I am done with the de-rung boxwood over here. So what I have instead is this dwarf Burford holly. As I showed you all, I have them already over here. These de-rung boxwood become 2 to 3 feet in width and about 9 feet in height. And they, as you can see, they grow upright and kind of columnar. The dwarf Burford holly, on the other hand, it says dwarf, you all be careful. Actually, it can become 8 to 10 feet in height and width, and honestly, it can grow beyond that. However, the rental home that we lived in before we moved here, we pruned them 3 times a year, and we were able to keep them at about 5 feet in height, 3 to 4 feet in width quite easily. It just took some basic, hedgers just going around the bush 3 times a year. I'm hoping that the colors and the leaf structure, that it's not an eyesore. And to be perfectly honest, you all, if this one should die or that one should die, I'm going to put another dwarf Burford holly in its place. And yeah, and so the white flags, I've been out here with the tape measure. That represents where I am going to put the Carissa hollies that I don't have yet. Then out front, I have 3 of these Russian sage. So these are little spire Russian sage. So the point of these plant selections is repetition. Like I said, I already have dwarf Burford holly in the front yard. I have Carissa hollies in the front yard, and I have this Russian sage in the front yard. And the front yard really needs to skew, I think, a little more uniform and not busy. I think that would keep it in line with kind of the a little more formal aesthetic of my neighborhood. These become about 2 feet in height and width. The yellowing you see right now is just due to shipping, but you can see the gorgeous, they're like a lavenderish flowers. Okay, so these are the final 3 plants for the space. These are 3 Carissa hollies. They will become wider than tall. They'll only become about 3 feet in height, but they're supposed to become about 5 feet in width. And my hope is it will fill in the space with evergreen interest. And as mentioned, we have these in another part of the front yard, so repeating some of the same plants. So after removing plants, assessing the soil, and digging holes here, I do not think the entire bed has a drainage problem. But because this is the lower point of the slope down here, there may be a localized pocket that stays wet longer. So in fact, when I dug the hole over there, so on the right, I found a sour smell, and I removed some of the rocks from that area. I think it was left over from the stone on the house, the build process. So I replaced the Caryopteris with these 3 Carissa hollies. They are planted 3 feet on center. I chose these plants because they are extremely heat and drought tolerant. They're evergreen, deer resistant, and adaptable to a variety of soils. They should also be pretty easy to maintain at about 3 feet in height, 2 to 3 feet in width. In situations like this right here, you want to check the drainage, and I will link a quick drainage test. So after digging the hole, check the drainage just to make sure that that isn't an issue. I planted all of these plants slightly high, especially these right here in low spots, and I did not add compost to the planting holes. New planting advice and methodology does not recommend adding compost to planting holes for shrubs in clay soil. Biotone and root starters can still be added, of course, because it helps with root development. So for now, I'm just going to monitor the soil. I'll check 3 to 4 inches down before the irrigation runs. And if it's still moist in this area, I will not water simply because the schedule says to. And the good news is I saw plenty of earthworms in this bed, which tells me the soil has good biological activity. And I'm just going to watch these plants, see how they perform. I hope you found something from this video useful. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day in your garden. Bye.